Hey folks, before going ahead in the session, let me give you a quick intro regarding what we have done with respect to data pre-processing. So we have pre-processed our two features, which is all about our question 1 and question 2. And of course, we have done a lot of data pre-processing, including all the operations, including lowercase, by replacing a lot of stuff, which is all about our contraction. Along with that, in the previous session, we have basically removed all the special characters that we have in our data. But unfortunately, we have ended up getting extra white spaces in our data. That's why in this session, our fun challenge is all about, let's try to remove the extra white spaces if we have in our data. Again, just to remove this extra white spaces, there are tons of ways, or there are tens of ways you can say. The first way you can think of is, hey, I will use a strip function of our string class just to strip all the unnecessary white spaces that we have. This is the first way. The second way is, of course, in pandas, as we have already studied, in pandas, we have typically three data structure. Series, we have data frame, and we have this panel, which is very rarely used. Series is all about one-dimensional, data frame is all about two-dimensional, and it is typically a multi-dimensional or three-dimensional data structure. So just to remove or just to strip the spaces, in series you have an inbuilt function. First and foremost, I will say .str.strip. This is the function that you can think of if you have to strip all the unnecessary extra white spaces. This is the second way. The third way is, you can think of using your regular expression module. Again, as this is a text data, here our regular expression is a god. We can say, cool, let's use a regular expression module and let's try to define some pattern. Let's try to define some pattern so that we are able to remove these extra white spaces. Similarly, the fourth one is all about, we can think of using our split function along with join. So I will say split plus join. In general, these are four ways, but again, there are tens of ways possible just to remove the white spaces you have. Again, in this session, we will try to touch upon this str.strip way. Hence, all the ways that I have mentioned are typically your assignment, which we will touch upon as our assignment. So let's try to do it using str.strip. So we will say on top of this question 1 and on top of this question 2, what we have to do is we have to just call .str.strip. That's it. Similarly, the similar stuff we have to do on top of our question 1. Then we have to update this question 1. I will say, hey, let's update it. Similarly, hey, let's update our question 2. And the moment I will execute this line of code, and if I am going to say, let me show you that. If I will copy this line of code or this data, and if I will execute it, now you will see there is no such extra white spaces over here, but initially there are some extra white spaces that you have. So that's what we have done in this session. Now let's try to export this data frame into some CSV format data at some particular location. So I will say data.to_CSV. Here we have to mention what exactly is a file path where we have to export this data. Let's say this is a file path and my data set name is all about, let's say pre-process_cora.csv. Now we do not need any by default index, hence passing an index equals to false makes a lot of sense. Let's append R just to make things more efficient. The moment I will execute this line of code, now you will see there is a file that gets created over here, which is all about our pre_process_cora. That's all about approx 72 MB dataset. Again, in all our upcoming session where we have to do advanced featureization, in all those sessions, we will try to touch upon this file or this data, and hence we will continue with our advanced featureization ways. Again, for those of you who have any doubts with respect to the session, feel free to ask with us in the Q&A of the course. That's all about it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Keep learning, keep growing, keep practicing.